JBN, we keep you informed. Employees abducted, vehicle stolen in corporate area robbery. 3 employees of a medical business were reportedly abducted in a company van in the corporate area yesterday afternoon. The employees have since been released in St Catherine and found safe, the police say. Reports are that the thieves stole the company van that was transporting 2 males and a female employee at the time. The police are investigating. Man murdered in Salt Springs, St. James. A man was shot and killed by gunmen around midday on Tuesday, September 17, in Salt Springs, St. James. The police have not yet released the identity of the murdered victim. Reports by the police are that the man, who is believed to be in his early 50s, went to visit a friend at a section of the community called Supermarket. While he was standing on the premises, he was attacked by 2 men armed with handguns who shot him multiple times before escaping in the area on foot. The police were summoned, and on arrival, the scene was processed and the body removed. The Montego Hills police are investigating. Chef shot and killed in Green Pond, St. James. A 31-year-old chef was shot and killed by armed men in the community of Green Pond in St. James on Monday night, September 16. The deceased has been identified as Jermaine Harvey of a Birchall address also in Green Pond. Reports by the police are that about 8:30 p.m. on Monday, residents living in Birch Hill summoned the police after hearing gunshots being fired in the community. The police traveled to the location, and on their arrival, Harvey was discovered lying in a pool of blood along a dirt track. 2 men charged with murder, illegal gun, and ammunition possession. 2 men were charged with murder and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition following the fatal shooting of 2 men in separate incidents in Westmoreland and Kingston. In the first incident, detectives assigned to the Westmoreland Police charged 24-year-old Roisin Bryan, otherwise called Refugee, of Hartford District in the parish for the Sunday, August 25 murder of Calvin Forrest of Petersfield, also in the parish. The police report that about 8:15 p.m., men attempted to rob Forrest in his backyard, and when he resisted, he was shot several times. The police were summoned, and on their arrival, Forrest was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Bryan was subsequently charged with murder and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. Over in Kingston, investigators assigned to the Helliston Road Police Station charged 42-year-old Nicholas Meikle, otherwise called Dickie, of Franklin Town for the murder of 18-year-old Tyreek Sawyers of Southern Cross Drive in Kingston 17 on Sunday, September 8. The police report that about 2:15 p.m., gunmen pounced upon Sawyers at his gate and opened gunfire, hitting him several times. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Meikle was subsequently questioned in the presence of his attorney and later charged with murder and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. The police say arrangements are being made for both men to appear in court. Kingston East Police list 4 men as wanted. The Kingston East Police have listed 4 men as wanted for murder. They are Jalwani Green of Dunkirk, 23-year-old Sadiki Mendez, otherwise called Preps, of Graham Street, 51-year-old Dean Cook, otherwise called Booby, of McIntyre Villa, and 40-year-old Dwayne Willis, otherwise called Pops, of McIntyre Villa. They are being asked to turn themselves in at the Elliston Road Police Station by midday Wednesday, September 18. Additionally, anyone who may be able to help the police to locate them is being asked to contact the investigators at the Elliston Road Police Station at 876-928-4200, Crime Stop at 311, Police 119 emergency number, or the nearest police station. Residents are being reminded that it is an offense to harbor criminals. Man convicted for killing postal worker and friend gets life imprisonment. The man who was convicted of the brutal 2012 killing of Barrington Davis, then Deputy Chief of Security at Jamaica Post, and his female friend Patricia Lamont Barneswell has been sentenced to life imprisonment. Mervyn Cameron was sentenced to life imprisonment and must serve 35 years before being eligible for parole on each of 2 counts of murder. Cameron was also sentenced to 7 years at hard labor on each of 2 counts of robbery with aggravation and 7 years at hard labor for kidnapping. The sentences are to run concurrently, meaning that he'll have to serve a minimum of 35 years. He was found guilty in May in the Home Circuit Court in downtown Kingston. Davis and Lamont Barneswell were kidnapped from his house in St. John's Heights, St. Catherine, in August 2012. Their decomposed bodies were found with multiple gunshot wounds in a cane field in Hinswood, also in St Catherine. Months later, in April 2013, Cameron and another man, Christopher Wilson, were arrested and charged. Opposition rejects request for 3-month SOE extension, proposes 21 days. The parliamentary opposition has signaled that it is not prepared to support a 3-month extension of the state of emergency SOE in St Catherine and Clarendon. Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Tuesday afternoon moved a motion in Parliament for a 3-month extension of the measure, which was declared on September 5. But opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips said in the absence of critical information from the government about the conduct of the SOEs, he is only prepared to extend the latest security measure by 3 weeks. We on this side will move an amendment to extend this by 21 days, during which we are expecting the regulations to be changed. We are expecting also that the relevant data will be brought to the Parliament as a basis for us to consider further extension, Phillips said. He said the parliamentary opposition is also insisting that the opening and closing hours of businesses must be changed. We think that in the way that we are proceeding, we are making people who want to be safer, who are prepared to support measures, feel that these measures can only be done if they sacrifice themselves, he said. We are prepared to go forward, but not under any terms, Phillips declared. Police counseling family members of 22 people impacted in deadly flankers crash. The Jamaica Constabulary Forces Corporate Communications Unit says that members of the Community Safety and Security Branch, CSSB, and the Police's Chaplaincy Unit have been deployed to commence counseling sessions for family members of the 22 people that were impacted in the crash, which claimed 2 lives on the Flankers Main Road in St. James on Monday, September 16. The deceased have been identified as 33-year-old O'Neill Henry, chef of Lilliput, and 60-year-old Anthony Forbes of Providence, both in St. James. Reports received from the investigators at the Coral Gardens Police Station are that about 4 p.m., the driver of a Toyota Corolla motor car, which was traveling towards Montego Bay, allegedly lost control of the vehicle and went into the path of a Nissan Caravan motor vehicle that was traveling in the opposite direction. A Nissan AD wagon motor car subsequently collided into the rear of the Nissan Caravan. The police were summoned, and all 3 drivers, along with 19 students who were traveling in the Nissan Caravan, were transported to the hospital. Henry, the driver of the Toyota Corolla motor car, and Forbes, who was driving the Nissan Caravan, were both pronounced dead. Of the 19 children involved in the crash, 2 remain in critical condition. The others are hospitalized and are being treated for non-life-threatening conditions, the police said yesterday. Seaview Gardens residents being forced to move. Residents of a section of Seaview Gardens were recently given 30 days' notice by the Ministry of Housing starting from September 10 to evacuate the area. They have until October 10 to relocate or they will be removed. Gregory Smith, who owns a cookshop on the land, said that 30 days aren't sufficient for business owners. It no sound right, because at the end of the day, you should even call a meeting before you give the person the notice. At the end of the day, you know we have stuff in the place, and in a month's time, we are still going to have stuff leaving there. Because sometimes we buy things by bulk. So I think the 30 days is too early, and I think they should call a meeting with all of the business persons or whosoever, and we can talk and discuss whatever to discuss, he said. Smith says the notice is completely disrespectful. To get a business place now or get a place to rent is very hard, especially all of the place where you know busy. It's too sudden, definitely too sudden. Me not even there 2 months yet, me just rent it. Me spend money and fix up the place and know this, he said. A fruit vendor Carol Young says the notice came as a surprise. Here is where we do a little livelihood. I live just across there. Me can't do better than just obey them still, said Young. Them say we fi leave, me did decide my mind say me I go leave. Me not in a no harassment with them. Just I go pack up my stuff them and bring them over my house. There is nothing we can do more than obey. And me just renovate in here, and tile it, and them just come like that, so. Sidney Taylor, who owns a little stall on the land, is completely dismayed. Well, me never really expect it. And me don't know what me I go do. Because see a coach me depend and a coach me I walk with. Me never expect nothing like this. Me don't know what me plan for do now, he said. Jamaica Labour Party JLP caretaker for the area, Gregory Smith, said that the people should have been contacted prior to the notice. I think they should meet with the people and have a consultation with them before just putting up the notice. Even putting up the notice, I think they should leave some form of contact information where the people can get in touch with them, he said. Smith says this can be done properly through the Community Development Committee, CDC. Everybody has to make a living regardless of the circumstances. Some people don't have a 9 to 5 and do a little business to earn. Consultation is needed with the residents. They can do it through the CDC. I think it is very important to the people so they can know where they stand and what they're supposed to do going forward. If they have to evacuate or if they're going to assist them in relocating or things like that, he said. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.